but the Spitfire most likely, potentially, possibly might be going back to ground floor loot. You guys hear that? That's all the Spitfire caustic means clapping right now. Alright guys, we're going to be talking about some Apex Legends Season 12 gameplay changes in today's video, some new details. I recently did an interview with a game dev at Respawn. I know I have said this in basically every single one of my recent videos, but I'm excited. I got to interview a dev from Respawn. That was a big accomplishment for me, so I'm sorry. But we did get some very good information from that interview. I'm not sure if every single one of these changes will actually make it into Season 12, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a couple of these changes making an appearance in this new season. So I'm not going to waste you guys' time. If you're ready, as always, drop a like, hit that sub button, and also if you could make one change to Apex in Season 12, what change would that be? Leave your comments down below right now. With that said, let's jump into these changes. So it looks like a Rampage nerf is not coming in Apex Season 12. That might be just a bit disappointing to some of you guys out there, but I actually talked to the life balance designer at Respawn, John Larson, in depth about, you know, the current state of the Rampage in Apex, and basically what he said and the reasoning behind Respawn not wanting to nerf the Rampage, because the Rampage, technically, yes, it is very strong. The stats do show it's very strong right now in the game, but it's kind of being amplified because of the recent, I would say, popularity of this gun and the recent glitch or the bug, right? Because that glitch was so popular, guys, everyone kind of jumped over to using the Rampage, and even though Respawn has nerfed it and they have like fixed the bug as well, the gun is still being used a lot in game, which kind of makes it seem a bit stronger than it really is. And that was the dev's explanation as to why the Rampage will not be getting nerfed, at least at the beginning of Season 12. Now, in my personal opinion, I think Respawn most likely will nerf the Rampage soon, because once you have a good majority of the Apex community complaining about one thing, even if it doesn't need to get nerfed, or even if it isn't like a huge deal, I think Respawn will still address it just to appease the Apex community at large. So it most likely will get nerfed very soon, but not at the beginning of Season 12. On the topic of LMGs, guys, Respawn has no plans of like making any huge LMG changes in Season 12. So the question I actually asked him was, you know, LMGs have been really strong since the beginning of Apex, and every single LMG, the Devotion, the Spitfire, the L-Star, and now the Rampage, has been OP at one point. So does Respawn plan to make any sweeping LMG changes? And what he said was no. He said because the main focus of Apex is the movement, and if Respawn were to make any LMG changes, they most likely would look at, you know, nerfing LMG's movement speed, and nerfing the movement speed of a weapon class goes against the design philosophy of Apex, because Apex is supposed to be a very high action, you know, fast paced game all about movement. So no LMG changes in Season 12, but the Spitfire most likely, potentially, possibly might be going back to ground floor loot. You guys hear that? That's all the Spitfire caustic means clapping right now. Now, just to be clear, he didn't say that the Spitfire is coming back in Season 12, but he did say it's going to be coming out of the care package rotation very soon. So that could mean Season 12, it could mean Season 13. I think we'll see it back in Season 12, but we'll have to wait and see. The alternator is also most likely coming out of the care package in Season 12, which makes sense to me because it doesn't really feel like a care package gun. The alternator being in the care package doesn't quite make sense. So maybe the Spitfire will be joining it as ground floor loot, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see, guys. Now, in terms of tap strafing, you know, Respawn made a huge post back in 2021 about how they want to potentially remove tap strafing in Apex. I actually asked the dev, John Larson, about this as well, and what he said is that Respawn isn't going to remove tap strafing, they're going to just tune it, which is a big difference. You see, I initially thought that Respawn was going to completely remove it, and they just pushed it back because of the huge backlash. But I think Respawn is not going to remove it now, but they're going to like really take their time and try to figure out the best way to, you know, keep some kind of tap strafing-esque ability in Apex, but not make it as unpredictable. Because the real reason Respawn is trying to like address tap strafing right now is because tap strafing has a movement capability in Apex. It's actually not part of the game, it's a design flaw. It's kind of like a a glitch in a sense, you know. So Respawn wants to address that and make it fit more comfortably into the atmosphere of Apex, the gameplay of Apex. I don't know. So we could be seeing a tap strafing change in season 12 as well. I wouldn't be surprised. But for all of you mouse and keyboard players out there like myself, even though I can't really tap strafe, I don't really care to, but it will not be removed in Apex, just tuned. In terms of legend rebalancing, guys, we could see a potential Gibby nerf, and the reason John Larson says that Respawn wants to look at Gibby is because he's kind of like a must pick legend right now, and he isn't really being picked because of him being fun to use, but more so because of him being essential to a team, which I get. Like, you want legends to be fun. You don't want to always have to pick a legend because they're just so good and so useful that you just have to pick them, you know. So I guess that makes sense from a design standpoint. So we don't know exactly what Respawn will do, but we could see a change to his bubble, his dome, very soon. I don't think it'll be in season 12 based on the way he was talking. I would expect to see that change maybe in season 13 or the mid-season 12 update, but I mean, you never know. We'll see. Pathfinder is not getting a new passive in season 12. Respawn says that Pathfinder's passive right now is not a huge priority because he still has a very solid pick rate and he's still very effective in game. I mean, I agree with him being very effective in game and fun to play as well, but I think, you know, looking into Pathfinder a bit more won't be a bad idea because every legend needs to have a passive that makes sense, and right now Pathfinder's passive just doesn't make sense, you know. So I wouldn't be upset if Respawn gives him a new passive very soon, but by the looks of it and from that interview I did, I don't think Respawn's mind right now is focused on giving Pathfinder a new passive, you know. It just isn't. That wasn't the vibe I got from the interview. But I know Respawn is looking for passive ideas, so here we go. Make Pathfinder and his teammates zip faster. Let Pathfinder remove zip lines when he places them down. Pathfinder gets notified when any enemy players use his zip line. Let Pathfinder heal on zip lines. Leave your thoughts down below, guys, but at least in season 12 don't expect to see any new Pathfinder passives. A crypto buff rumor has been going around. Respawn hasn't confirmed any crypto buff in like detail, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do get to see some sort of crypto buff in season 12, but again, we have no official details on this. But I mean, crypto is the least picked legend right now in Apex. He has a pick rate of like, I don't even know, maybe like 1 or 2%, maybe less than that, I don't know. But he's very, very low on the list, the lowest legend on the list. So it does make sense that Respawn would want to give crypto a buff as soon as possible. And maybe season 12 will just be that season. We have to wait and see. And to end things off, guys, we obviously recently got the launch trailer for season 12. This might not be like a huge deal, but it looks like the Olympus lighting on the map is going to change in season 12, similar to how Apex changed in season 3 to season 4 with World's Edge. It was a lot more darker, a lot more like orangey red skies. Olympus's skies will now be orangey red based on the launch trailer, right? Which to me is kind of like because I always preferred like bright maps, bright, colorful, you know, maps that make you feel happy. And Olympus now most likely will be of kind of like gloomy, dark, orangey red skies, you know. I mean, it's still a fun map. Olympus is still a great map, and again, this isn't 100% confirmed, but based on the launch trailer, Olympus and more Apex. Till next time.